We've had a recent influx in total world management titles lately, and it's honestly been a fun break from my more typical life in cozy sims. Trading in the family farm for hurling trees at my colony's enemies is definitely enjoyable in its own right, and absolutely a mechanic that exists in our next title. Hi, my name's Lil, and this is my review of the Universim. If you haven't heard of it before, the Universim is what's classified as a god game, a subgenre of the management and colony sim, and one that focuses less on your production of wheat that year and more on whether or not you're going to be able to stop a meteor attack from your upset neighbors. That being said, you'll still need to look over your little minions and make sure they're building the proper structures and gathering those vital resources that they will need to make it through the year. Unlike other titles though, you have an additional resource bar, and that's faith. The more of it that you accumulate, the more you'll be able to do favors for your puny friends down on Earth. Whether you're fixing their homes with the flick of your wrist, filling their water reserves with a spontaneous rainstorm, or hurling the local wolves far away with a tornado, you can do it. As per what's typical in the genre, you will control what your colony builds, their overall research and crafting ability, upgrades related to their resources and defenses, and even their population control. If you feel they're not expanding rapidly enough, take to your godly powers and shoot a few people with good old Cupid's arrows, creating the next generation of spawnlings to do your godly bidding. Heck, you can even influence their political votes. I tease, but the game is incredibly playful and fun with its storyline. I say storyline loosely as it's a management sim and one that's not hyper-focused around story, but the bits that exist are silly and got a good laugh out of me from time to time from the voice lines alone. It's that extra flair that you can only hope for in the management genre, as sometimes these ones are hung out to dry with simplicity. The Universim gets its name, though, in the sense that you can push your population to the ability of space travel, and cultivating multiple planets is absolutely in your cards. The game rewards those that enjoy a more roguelite style of game, offering soft resets of the world with gained bonuses dependent on playtime. It was a clever way to ensure boredom doesn't set in too deeply and starting over doesn't have to be too terrifying. Honestly, when thinking about negatives, I struggle to find any. You could argue that you might not enjoy the genre, preferring a more story-driven approach, or that you want a more lasting colony sim that focuses on one playthrough. But for what the Universim is trying to do, they're doing it pretty well. You can be as chaotically evil or lawfully good as you want, and you'll have a different experience both times. It's flexible to its player base and rewarding to those who love playing for hours on end. There wasn't a single god-awful bug to be found either. We're happy to say that we're awarding it with our Pillow Fort stamp of approval, and think that anyone who enjoys the god game management genre should give it an honest look. We want to give a special thanks to Creativo for allowing us to check out the 1.0 release, and we look forward to revisiting the game in the future if and when future content comes out for it. Feel free to ask any questions you might have about the game in the comments. We are more than happy to answer. And consider subscribing to the channel if you love learning about new and upcoming games. For now, we'll say thanks for watching and see you in the next video.